Guys, it's Sarah here, and it is July 4th, and I want to come today from an angle a little differently than I've been doing recently, and I want to read a little passage from a book and use this time as a healing session or advice for healing any blocks that we have in owning our own power within relationships. And I want to do this my way and see where we can go with that, and what kind of advice that Spirit also has for us with this. I just want to discuss a little bit as well. I feel like I'm always talking about my jewelry, but it's because I'm learning about the stones as well as I wear them. And right now, I've been definitely needing to ground myself, and I'm feeling I've been wearing some tiger eye and some black onyx. And what I've found as well with the stones that you're using, takes a little bit of time to bond with them, but after a while, when you put them down for a while and you give them a rest period, when they come back to you, the longer the stones so that you've had, and the longer your energy has had time to mingle in with whatever it is, the more powerful that particular talisman will be for you, the more potent it will be. And for me, I purchased this piece of onyx at a very difficult time in my life, and really didn't understand the full implications it had for me at the time. It definitely helped me more than I know, and bringing it back in now, when I put it on, it was an instant. It felt like power going through, right, every little nerve, every little vein in my chest, spreading out to be like, hey, you are grounded again, and you are in your power, and nothing can knock you over. So don't you forget that. And I want everybody, there's some sage coming in to help clear any negativity that's been within any of our paths, but I want to come in today and find ways that we can all remember that, right? That we're allowed to stand in our power. We're allowed to feel our own power and be powerful in our own lives, and feel safe and feel secure and walk this earth grounded. That doesn't mean that you can't use tools. Like I got myself a birthday present, and it is a selenite, I think is how you pronounce it, Reiki wand, and this thing is awesome. The amount of energy and clarity that I feel from this even is amazing. So I highly suggest, if there's anybody been thinking about it, this is a great investment to look into. Okay, so now that my ramblings have been done, I also just want to do a little plug that if you have not liked or subscribed to any videos that you do like, or subscribe to my channel and you want to, go ahead. You don't have to. The views are awesome. And I just like to ask again that if you don't like what I'm saying, turn away with love. We all have our differences of opinions and our ways that we deal with things in this world, and I feel like I have a particular purpose here and a particular mission, and if there's anyone out here who feels like they need to figure out how to stand up on their own 2 feet and not let anyone knock them down, I'm your girl right now, okay? So I'm going to put you up in my weird little holder thing that I have device there, because I want you to be able to see some of my sunflowers and stuff that's going on, because I also realize as well, sometimes when we're relocated or not near a place that we can have our own plot of land, we forget all about the life, right? And I've just kind of let that garden go. There's rhubarb in there, there's sunflowers, there's poppies, there's some stuff that I tried to plant, and at this point, there's dill. You know, at this point, it's just what it is, and it's a little science experiment. Okay, so I am done with my rant. What I'd like to do is come again here with a passage from The Language of Letting Go, Daily Meditations for Codependence. And I have also previously, but if you haven't watched, I'm going to re-establish that for me, where I'm going here on what codependency is within this journey to finding your authentic self, is seeking validation or anything related to your self-worth outside self-worth, outside of yourself. Okay? Your self-worth and your feelings of worthiness and wholeness within this universe, within this lifetime, they have to come from within. And I want to help people do that. So let's see I'm going to also ask you before I get into this to really allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to feel the triggers, feel the questions. So if you want to do a little exercise with this, what you can do is after I'm finished this, write down some key points that you thought were important for you or that resonated with you from this video. List questions that it raised. Is there any questions or things that you would like to know more about, or that you would you disagree with, anything you'd like to challenge on it, you know, things like that. One second, I'll move that. And then lastly, write, if you're looking to write on a way that what I've said or what you felt, the questions, how do they relate to you in your life, and how can you bring it to change your life? Okay, simple as that. That's something we used to do in women's studies when we'd be reading this crazy feminist theory stuff that sometimes was just hard to wrap your brain around when you're going through so many different theories and trying to remember it, to really personalize it, right? Personal is political, and don't you dare forget it. Alright, now that I'm done for real this time. Okay, so owning our power in relationships. So much of what I call my codependency is fear and panic because I spent so much of my life feeling abused, trapped, and not knowing how to take care of myself in relationships. This is a quote from an anonymous person and doesn't not fully explain, right, why we develop these fears and worry about other people and allow ourselves to be inauthentic. So, to get more into this, no matter how long we have been recovering, we may still tend to give up our power to others, whether they be authority figures, a new love, or a child. When we do this, we experience the set of emotions and thoughts we call the codependent crazies. We may feel angry, guilty, afraid, confused, and obsessed. We may feel dependent and needy, or become overly controlling and rigid. We may return to familiar behaviors during stress. And for those of us who have codependency and adult children issues, relationships are stress. We don't have to stay stuck in our codependency. We don't have to shame or blame ourselves or the other person for our condition. We simply need to own our own power. And do you hear the church bells there? Ladies and gentlemen, owning our own power, that is freedom in itself. Practice, practice, practice using your power to take care of yourself, no matter what or who you are dealing with, where you are, or what you're doing. This is what recovery means. This does not mean we try to control others. It does not mean we become abrasive or abusive. It means we own our power to take care of ourselves. The thought of doing this may generate fears. That's normal. Take care of yourself anyway. The answers and the power to do that are within you now, right? If you have become conscious of power being taken, or you giving it away, the first way to getting better is being conscious, bringing it to conscious awareness so that we can work through it however we need to, release it however we need to, and no longer allow it to have a hold on us. Okay, so the last part of this, start today. Start where you are. Start by taking care of who you are at the present moment. To be the best of your ability. So we are all in, and I'm sorry sometimes I look angry, it's just I want to drive it home, because we're all at different stages within our life, different stages within our journeys, different stages in even acknowledging that we have to own our own powers. There's a lot of different places of awareness and consciousness that we're all coming from. For some people, I seem like a very crazy person, and for some people, yeah, man, right? So if you're somewhere in between, keep an open mind. We change every day, and growth is important, and it means owning the power within our relationships, regardless of whether it's at work and having to say to a coworker or a boss that, hey, the way that you're treating me, that's absolutely unokay. It's harassment. I'm not speaking to you like that. I worked at a call center, and I had great, whatever it is, like, I can't even remember right now, right? But I was good at it. And you get to a point where you have to be clear and direct and to the point, understanding. So I understand that it's frustrating. Your Wi-Fi was left on when you went out of the country. I do see here that we did advise you to get a travel pack, and I'm sorry, but we are unable to credit those charges. I understand it's frustrating, but have yourself a great day. That's kind of things that you get yelled at constantly, and you have to let it roll off your chest. Well, be direct, be polite, be professional in everything that you do. Use your call center voice if you've ever had one. You find a way to bring that peace where it doesn't matter what they're going to say to you. It doesn't have to be scripted, but you don't have to engage in assholery is where I'm going to go with that. So I want to bring some cards in because that's also my deal. And the first thing I'm bringing in is a Crystal Mandala Oracle card, because I find that this also helps to bring healing and pay attention to how we can heal ourselves as well. And there are some healing little affirmations in the book that I will read out for whatever it is, just so that we can bring this into a practice, bring it into a ritual. You know, light some candles, turn it into a ceremony, you know, as long as we bring our intention. So my intention for this is that I receive a message for anyone who is watching this to own their own power and release any blocks to being able to own their power. And I would like to ask Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, and Archangel Raphael to guard this reading, protect me as well as anyone who is here watching this, and give you as well the gift of healing if you will take it, and divine guidance. So, without further ado, Spirit, what advice do you have for anyone who's watching this to release any blocks for owning, excuse me, owning our power and being able to take back that power? Thank you. Okay, so the goddess Sarawaski in Ammonite, and from world to world is the card. As you see it, because it's really pretty artwork. And 888 is a number, so infinity here, right? Cycles and spirals. And in our life, if we have had trouble standing up for ourselves and owning the power that we have, we can probably see it from the time we were a child in our childhood bullies to our friends and our family throughout time, our relationships, be it romantic, our friendships, our work experiences, times where we haven't allowed people, or we have, allowed people to take our power, and times where we haven't stood enough in our truth. And weaving from world to world, especially within a spiritual community, is something that we're going to constantly see situations that hurt us, or I mean, it can be joyous too if we, if we're clearing karma and doing our best in this world and coming with truth and integrity into every aspect of our lives. We are going to be generating good karma, and we're going to be vibrating at such a high vibration that we're going to be allowing that to come into us. When we stay in these kind of stuck here at the heart of it, in the hurt and the darkness, when we stay in this spot, you can't get out of the tunnel. There's no light. You need to be able to find ways to work through this stuff. And for some of us, going from world to world also could be having to see in ourselves, right? Not just others, because this is in lifetimes. And sometimes, you think of your friendships, your relationships, those literally are lifetimes ago. They are not here, right? They are gone, and they're not coming back. You have to continue to have a life. not just focus so much on what happened. And if you're continually pulling in the same experiences in a negative way, this has to do with us, right? This has to do with ways, our own patterns of self-destructive behavior by giving away the patterns and not seeing within ourselves how we have allowed these kinds of things to happen, or how we have allowed people to treat us. For some of us as well, if what you've been experiencing is throughout your lifetime not being able to stand up for yourself and not being able to have power, if you feel like your power has always been taken and your voice has always been taken, you will see that as well through every relationship, that a friendship situation where you felt bullied. It comes down to now, if you can see the pattern, you can change it, and you can stop it dead in its tracks, and the next time that an occasion that is like that comes around, you say, whoa, that's yours, that's not mine. And I am no longer weaving in and out of this timeline where we have, no longer weaving in and out of this situation and these timelines where these have happened over and over again. No, my life is still now, and I'm creating my reality right here, right now. So thinking positively, not allowing negativity to get you down. Go above and beyond, and go above and beyond. So this is number 40, and I'm just going to read to you the healing process that's in it as well. So number 40. Where are you? Okay, so to integrate the guidance that this card wants you to know,